Conan, what is best in life?
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
That is...
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Skip, aka Skipntosh, here with my man Wes. Say what's up to the people, Wes.
How's everybody doing today? Glad to be back here with my main man Skipntosh. The D-Man is here. We're here to talk about some Guardians of the Galaxy.
D-Man and C-Man in the house. Yeah, man, I'm excited about this one. More excited than I've been in a little while to talk about a comic. Al Ewing is easily my second favorite when it comes to writing that stuff, right behind Jim Starlin. So Wes was like, Skip, we got to check this one out. And I was like, Al Ewing? All right, I'm game. You know, at first it had to build the story, so there's a little bit of the exposition and, you know, and all of that stuff and kind of building the world and building us up to what the current threat was. And that part was, it wasn't bad, but it was a little bit like, I'm waiting for the punch. I'm waiting for the hit, you know, I'm waiting for the haymaker. Once you get past about halfway through and Al Ewing set everything up, which it was worth letting him set it up, man, everything just starts to come together. And the villains I was really interested in. How did you feel about the villains, Wes, the new villains?
I think they're really cool. That's actually one of the things he's definitely got to do a little bit more work because we know who they are. They're the Olympians from Earth, but they're different. They've changed somehow. They went out into space. We're not really sure how they got there and what exactly has changed them, but they're definitely changed. And now they're a big threat. They've got like a floating city that's traveling in between dimensions, and they're gonna have to put a stop to them as they come over and they're destroying some worlds and colonies and stuff like that. The villains have a lot of promise.
I would agree. I think they do too. I like the concept of, the old Olympic gods, finding their way off of Earth into space and then kind of posing a new threat. I do very much feel like someone is behind them, and obviously behind the reason that they're there. It almost feels like someone thought that they could control them, and then the new, the Olympic gods, the neo-Olympic gods, I guess, just kind of broke out of that control. But something's got to explain why they were there. I agree, more fleshing out needs to be done. What else outside of that was a part of the book that you felt like maybe could have used a little bit of extra polish or a little bit extra care?
Well, there's one thing that stands out. It was really strange. It's a new character named Marvel Boy. And when the character, basically the Nova Corps has been dismantled, in the last Guardians of the Galaxy series. Nova needs to go pick up the scraps. He just finished up with the Cancerverse and Annihilation Scourge, and he needs to put a team together to help or to come and fight the Olympians. And he's running out of options, so he finds somebody. He's a Kree from another dimension called Marvel Boy, and he's a little different. He kind of runs down all of his powers, and he gives you his pronouns. I don't know if it felt like maybe a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like at the reader, like he was trying to be tongue in cheek, but it's Al Ewing, so you don't know if he was trying to be serious. But it definitely stood out as weird.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I felt that too, and I was like, okay, Marvel Boy, okay, run. His saliva is a psychedelic, and his thumbnails are explosives, and he was really expounding. He was just like, I'm such and such. I do this. I do this. I do that. This is what I'm about. These are my pronouns. Bam. Any questions? Like, just ran it down the list, and then it just cuts over to Rocket and Quill, and he's like, I feel old. That's how I felt looking at it. I'm just like, it totally sounds like, I go to the college campus to like shoot some hoops or something like that, and this kid just starts running down their list to me, and I'm just like, I feel you, bro, but I feel old, man. Like, that's a lot of information, man. No, just tell me your name. That's all I need to know. Can you help me? Tell me your name and can you help me? I don't all the extra stuff. Well, you got a whole menu I got to read just to start a conversation. It's too much. So I like Al Ewing. he could, like you said, it's tongue in cheek. He kind of went for the joke out of it. It's like, okay, yeah, that's where you are. This is where I am, and I'm just getting, I'm like Riggs, or is it Riggs? Murtaugh.
Riggs.
Murtaugh. Oh, it is Riggs. I'm getting too old for this stuff.
For this shit. Yeah.
That's right. but yeah, so Marvel Boy, we're gonna see how Marvel Boy pans out. I almost felt like Marvel, with us covering a lot of the Dawn of X titles, Marvel Boy very much felt like Kid Omega to me, or at least like took that character slot. Not that they're written exactly the same. They're not written exactly the same, but some of the characteristics and the similarities, obviously a call to, like the, millennials, if you will, or whatever. I felt like, Marvel Boy is that for this book. Something that I felt like Al Ewing did really good, or something I felt like he could have worked on, I should say, was kind of a little bit of the characterizations. Like, I didn't feel like they were bad, but I didn't feel like they were strong. Quill, I mean, I guess felt enough like Quill. It didn't lean into it too much. Rocket, I feel like, was the best. Rocket felt like Rocket. Drax, for the times that he's in there, was Drax enough, but even that, I didn't feel like he really leaned into it. But I'll be honest, that's something I like. Al Ewing does enough. He gets like a passing grade, for that. But I don't feel like characteristics are like his, or characterizations are his strong suit. I feel like the overall story and the concepts and how he strings them along tends to be, his strong suit. So that's what I felt like he could have worked on. I feel like the characterization could have been a little bit better. If this was a Thinking Critical West review, I would have rated the characterizations a 3 flat. It would have been just a 3.
It's kind of weird. At one point, Peter Quill and Rocket Raccoon, they kind of just go to meet up with Nova, but it's not really fleshed out why.
Nope.
It feels
they
like
couldn't sleep.
He needed to move the story to the next setting and move it along, but he didn't really take the time to explain why. But where he really hit it out of the ballpark as far as characterization, for my money, was Nova. You can tell he loves that character. Like, he has the voice of a writer, like 100%. I could feel for the character. When he finally had to break down and explain, is like, there's nobody left to turn to. Everybody else is already healing up from the last crisis with Annihilation Scourge. And, it's just me, and I'm trying to keep things together and trying to keep the galaxy safe. That's why I need you. I felt for him, and I was like, man, that was really phenomenal characterization.
That was the best. Thank you for pointing that out. That is very, very true. Yeah, Nova's characterization was spot on. And that kind of tends to be the place of Nova. Nova is kind of like, Nova always feels like something really bad just happened, and I need all the help I can get, and I feel like I could never get enough help. That's what Nova feels like. One of my favorite parts of the book, easily, what was more of a cosmic type thing from one of the characters. I really like how Moondragon used her psychic ability to mask herself from the gods. Like, I thought that was really, really cool. And I also thought it was cool how they broke it. But there was a really nice full plate splash on like the process of them infiltrating New Olympus the way that they needed to try to grab a device that was basically allowing the gods to be where they needed to be to, start their destruction and immediately not be there anymore. They were trying to grab the source of the energy for that mechanism. And it was just cool to see like Moondragon be like, see nothing, hear nothing. And so I thought that was really cool. And I also liked the writing, how Al Ewing, like, he planted seeds, even though it was a little on the nose, the whole, let's stay safe, go somewhere safe. There's nowhere safe. There's nowhere safe. There's nowhere safe. I liked his little call and response. I felt like he did it maybe one or two too many times, but I really enjoyed that part. What was another part that you really enjoyed about this, Wes?
Well, there's a lot to enjoy, but I did enjoy the infiltration of the city. It was pretty cool because at the beginning it feels like it's going okay, and then all of a sudden when everything breaks down, like, it all breaks down. It's quite apparent while you're reading it. It actually builds up the tension really well. It's like, oh wow, like all these guys might be dead here. Like everything's just falling apart. They've been discovered, and it's all going to hell in a handbasket in a really good, in a real quick way. And it also leads to a really interesting cliffhanger or reveal at the very end that I thought was done very well. It was excellent, actually.
It was, and that was it was going to hell in a handbasket in a bullet train, dude. When it started to fall, it started to fall hard and fast, and I was like, the tension that Al Ewing built, I really enjoyed because it was very much like that part's falling apart, that part's falling apart, that part's falling apart, and they're calling on that person. That person's like, I can't do anything. Calling on the other person, they're like, I can't do anything for you. They're doing this. So I really enjoyed that part. Kudos to Al Ewing for building that tension. But the reveal was pretty awesome, and I thought I knew what the reveal was too. I'm not even going to say it because I thought it was interesting enough, and I had read a book that a little while ago that had dealt with what got revealed. So I liked that those two things linked. I was like, okay, Al Ewing is truly paying attention to what's going on around him, and the book that I'm talking about, it wasn't distant. It was fairly recent, within the last few months, but I thought it was pretty much perfectly executed, the reveal. And I think with that alone, and with that said, I highly recommend this book. Anybody who was interested in it, or if you were on the fence, if you really liked what Donny Cates did, which I had only read about 2 issues of his, and it didn't hook me. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't hook me. But for everybody else that enjoyed it, I was in the minority. A lot of people really enjoyed it. I'm not saying that this is exactly like that, because I feel like Donny Cates gets characterizations overall a little bit better. I feel like Al Ewing, when it comes to like a big connected story and a concept, I feel like he does that just that much better than Donny Cates does. So I don't think it's going to be a hard shift for people that did enjoy the Cates book over to this. I think you'll really enjoy it. Wes, any last impressions for this book?
I will give Al Ewing this. This is all connected to Cates's run that preceded it. It's also all connected to Annihilation Scourge, which we've already talked about, and is also connected to Incoming. So he does a lot of good job. He does a good job threading everything together. It's well executed. I know that the page with Wonder Boy Marvel Boy is out there, and it is ridiculous. And if that's if that's driving your thoughts on the series, and you think that's what this Guardians of the Galaxy book is, it's not. That's one page. It seems like it's a joke. It's funny, and even if it's not a joke, it's literally only one page. Everything else about it is actually really good. It starts off a little bit boring. It does have to catch you up on Case's run, but once it gets going, it really gets going. And I'm with you. I echo your sentiments. I would give this a highly recommend. The art isn't spectacular, but it's certainly serviceable and gets better as the action goes along. And characterization and plot are all spot on. So this is a really good comic book.
Absolutely. And I want to give extra shout out to the colors, though. Federico Blee, who was doing a lot of the coloring for the Marauders and the Dawn of X series, he handles these colors. And I feel like he did a really good job, especially with some of the things that were very obviously inspired by Jack Kirby, some Kirby crackle in there and some things that were Kirby-esque. Federico Blee did everything he could to accentuate that and make it represent Jack Kirby very, 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 very well. And yeah, don't let the Marvel Boy page get you hung up. That's something that, like, if it would have continued on to be that way, I wouldn't have been able to ignore it. They put it in there and they literally handled it perfectly. So yeah, don't let it steer you away from the book. Very highly recommended. Thanks for everybody who's tuning in to OTB. We'll have another book next week. Wes and I will discuss which book that is. If you're looking for a gaming chair, consider Taboo Ohana. They're our gaming chair sponsor, and awesome. We got a whole bunch of new people in the family, so check that out. You get $40 off the chair with my discount code. If any help is always welcome. If you want to donate on coffee, the link is in the description. Don't feel pressured. We just appreciate everybody being here and watching the videos and checking us out live on Twitch, which is where we're recording this live right now. So if you want to be a part of the live conversation, join us on thinking_critical_YT on Twitch. That link will be in the description as well. And we will see y'all later.
Later. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.